Hello my scrappy friends and a big welcome to my YouTube channel again today. It's Melinda Sweetman here with you with a new layout. This one is for the Traci Reed Designs team for the Make Merry YouTube Hop. This is such a fun, pretty, I love this collection. It's beautiful. As you can see, I am working on this gorgeous 12 by 12 pattern paper that is all the bows. I love it so much. I couldn't resist. I've got these 3 photos. These are from last year when I had my rainbow hair done for December. This is something I do probably twice, well, mostly twice a year, once for around my birthday and once around Christmas. And this time, as you can see, we did an ombre rainbow. Well, it's not an ombre, it's a rainbow, basically where my undercut used to be, underneath all my hair there. We just did the 3 colours because there wasn't a ton of room, and made the orange and the green with the other colours that are there. I've got 3 photos, 2 that were taken by my hairdresser straight after she'd done it, and you can really see it, and then one from the front after she had curled it. And I really love how this layout turned out. It is really, really pretty, and it just worked really well. Halfway through designing this, I went, oh, I've done a couple of layouts like this recently with like the long vertical strip, the long horizontal strip with everything around it, and I just went with it. I was like, you know what, it's working and I really like how this is turning out. When I opened up the products for this collection, I was like, right, I'm going to go real pretty with my first layout, and once I grab my photos and pick my title, I'm just using one of the title journal cards, 3x4 cards here for this one. I was like, right, I'm going to stack these across my page and do like this beautiful like bouquet of flowers across. So that's how I came up with this design, and I really love it. I did want to make sure that I had some contrast between my photos and my background, so I have got a couple of layers there. I did start with one of the patterns that's on white, and then I've gone with a green and a pink and red candy cane stripe. Cannot resist a candy cane stripe. I love it so much. So I am using grey ink to ink all the edges here. I feel like that just separates everything a little bit more, gives a bit more dimension. I am going to add my journaling behind that Merry and Bright card. So you would have noticed that I just added adhesive to 3 sides. I do need to go back in and add a little bit more dimension there so that the journaling card slides in and out way easier. But as you can see, I am just inking up all the edges of everything, making sure that's going to fit in there, and it doesn't. So I do trim it down a tiny bit, and rather than continuing to trim it, because I can get it in, but it's just really, really tight fit, I decide to pull this off. And I very carefully remove that and don't remove any of the paper, which is awesome. And I'm going to use, you can see that little green scrap of paper on the right hand side there. I'm going to cut that into really thin strips and use that as dimension. So I did leave this in for you to show you that you can remove these things if you're careful, which I am normally in way too much of a rush for, but that's okay. So it does happen, and we all have to change these up every now and then. It's a real part of the process, right? So you can see here, I'm literally just trimming this down to tiny little strips to fit behind there, and I'm wanting to make sure that they are thin enough that I'm not going to lose any more of that space behind for my little pocket. Just going to trim this up. I do end up doing 2 layers, and I do not make you watch both because it's really not that exciting, but I thought I would leave it in so that you could see exactly what I was doing. And I put the green side up so you could see it too. Just going to go back in and add another layer of adhesive, and then the second layer of paper, and I'm also going to just use my powder tool to make sure there's no sticky bits left. Some of my tape was a little bit wider, and I didn't want my journal card to get stuck on that tape. So that is now ready to go. I'm going to use a tiny bit of liquid glue here and stick this back where it belongs. It did take me a little while to get my florals arranged on here, and I don't make you watch all of that because it's really not that exciting. But I really love how this page came together in the end. Like I said, I am inking everything. This is Distress Oxide and Hickory Smoke. I loved this banner piece. It says Sparkle Season, and most of us feel like we sparkle a little bit after we've left the hairdresser, I think. I've got all my florals cut here. I did just break everything, like separate everything out into the different piles of the kinds of embellishments they were. And I'm just going to start by placing this little banner, and then I'm going to start playing with some florals. This did take me a while, and what I might do, rather than explaining every single thing that I'm doing, is pop on some music for you. I'm just going to attach my little tab here and pop that aside to dry because I'm using the liquid glue. I'll pop some music on for you, and then I'll come back and finish the voiceover once I've got all my florals in place. Alright, so you can see that I have I've stuck all of those down, and now I'm just filling in the gaps. I do trim off a few bits and pieces here and there just to make it all fit properly. Well, not properly, but so that I'm not having to lift everything up off the page. And I'm just going to keep going through and adding those florals in and chopping bits off where I need to. I am inking everything as well. Just going to trim off my sides here. My original intention was not for it to go over the edge, but it did end up working out best that way, so I am just going to trim those off and ink that up. I'm going to add in these fun ornaments. These did take a little while for me to get the placement right. I didn't want two of the same color next to each other, and I didn't want two of the same shape next to each other. And there are some that do not have the strings on them, so I tuck those right up the top. And I love this dark teal color, it's beautiful. But you can see straight away I've got those two next to each other. I am going to move things around because I'm like, oh, those two are the same and they're next to each other. I'll fix that up in a second. And then I've got those two that are the same color as well. I'm like, what am I going to do here? Add this one in, perfect. And one more. And so I'm going to ink the edges of these. I'm just going to show you me sticking one down, ink the edges, add a couple of pop dots, and then tuck it in under there. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with all of those. I really like just the extra, I don't know, the extra festive feel that brings. I'm going to go through and add some pop dots underneath some of my edges as well. And then my last finishing touch, now this did take a while to stick down. You can see I have poured some into my little triangle tray and I'm literally sprinkling them all over the place. I don't like, there are some that land smack bang like in the middle of a photo, and I do move those. But I pretty much just go through and stick them where they've landed or fairly close. You can see I've got my little picker tool thing here and my glue. I'm just going to go through and stick those down. That last little tap to get any loose ones off. I thought I got them all, but I hadn't. It's okay. There is tons of sparkle. These are holographic. I love them so much. And here is a final close-up of my layout, and you can see those stars twinkling. I love it. I love how this layout turned out. Make sure you scrap your own stories, whether it's Christmas time, any time of year. Make sure you follow along on the YouTube hop. So much fun inspiration. This collection is so fun. It's on sale. Grab it while you can and get creating. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me. I really do appreciate it, and I shall see you in my next video.